2 weeks to Payback. I wonder, is the WWE afraid of what's going to happen there? Because I do have this weird feeling that the WWE is trying to hide something. And it's pretty obvious. At the end of the review, I'll make it very clear. But if you're not sure about it, just watch the rest of this. Opening up the show. The Ambrose Asylum isn't a bad concept. Dean Ambrose could carry it. He's silly enough to make it interesting. And with everybody smudged on there along with the Chris Jericho, who's pissed off that his own show has been taken off the air, which actually I think is a good thing. You overdo these little segments so much, it sucks. And I have this feeling that when it comes to the Dean Ambrose Asylum, the Ambrose Asylum is going to get tired very quickly. Because we have it so often, it's stupid. But was the segment between him, Sami Zayn, and everyone else alright? Yeah, it was alright. I didn't mind it. And I'm going to do both matches right now because there's no real reason to really spread it out. And that is Sami Zayn versus Chris Jericho. I had no problem with it. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was very good, high-flying, and a very good, impactful match. And that Chris won, there was no problem with that. I'm actually glad it happened. I'm actually 100%, and I know a lot of people saying the poke in the eye is kind of a wishy-washy win. But for Chris, it has to happen. They really haven't built him very well over the last year, 2 years, 3 years. So whatever way to get him over as a heel, I'm alright with. But when it came to the Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose match, I felt that was wrong. I felt when it came down to the match quality, it was fine. But having Dean Ambrose win that match, I didn't feel it was necessary. I didn't feel that Dean needed to win there and Kevin Owens needed to job because Sami Zayn didn't win his match. And now Kevin Owens didn't win his match. So that means neither one of those guys is really going to be cared about. So what is the point? I mean, it was alright. Little ending when it came to Chris doing the code breaker on Dean Ambrose. It makes sense. Chris had the highlight reel. It was one of the better shows they had. Now it's been removed and he's mad about it. And I can understand that. But you're actually going to bury Sami Zayn, who's hot at the moment, and a Kevin Owens that is beginning to get hot again because these two, who has a history, is going to have a match at Payback. People want to see it. But then you're not going to spotlight either one of them. I felt that was wrong. The Fandango. Oh my gosh. People still like Fandango. But I feel like they just are not going to do anything with him. And it's kind of sad they only bring him out when he goes to the UK tour. I think that's the reason why it was shown a couple of weeks before that. Because people in the UK are going to know, oh, Fandango is coming. Yeah, we're going to do the dance. That's sad. Johnny Curtis deserves a little bit more than that. But am I alright with the Corbin and Ziggler feud? Yeah, I am. Because Corbin destroyed a Fandango. He didn't really have to work that hard. And then he destroyed Dolph Ziggler after that. Using Last Days. I believe it's, not Last Days. End of Days. His finishing move onto the mat on the floor, I'm fine with. I'm glad this guy is being pushed. And there's, well, the only thing I worry about is that when it comes to Dolph, sometimes the WWE acts a little bit manic depressing. Because they kind of want something good, but then they see something bad, and then they want to make that bad good. So if Dolph wins at Payback, it kind of makes no sense for Corbin. Really, it doesn't make any sense. Particularly that the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy is shown every single time he comes out. They didn't do that for Cesaro very long. They dropped that mess. They didn't even do that for a Big Show. So I'm hoping this does not happen at Payback. And since I am talking about Corbin, let's talk about Apollo Crews. I just wish, sorry, I have a sore throat. That's why I didn't do my TNA review last week. The weather in New York sucks. It is making me sick. Whew, make my eyes water. But Apollo Crews, I'm interested in seeing how well they will, well, I know he has ability. He is very good in the ring. He's not a big guy, but he's a very athletic and high-flying guy. You could say he's like Kofi Kingston on steroids. Big, muscular guy. Bigger than Kofi and can move just as well as him. But here's the problem I see. He had the social outcast segment before the show happened. And they want him to join. Then he had the match after that. That is a very weak kind of feud for him. He kind of reminds me of Kurt Angle when he first came into the WWE. He was clean cut. He was a really, really generic, innocent babyface. And in this case, that's where they've gone with him. And I don't know it's going to work. If they're going to have him work with the social outcast, I'll be alright with it for a certain amount of time. That's if this is only a one-time thing and it could go farther than that. I just don't know. But when it comes down to Apollo Crews, I believe he has ability. Excuse me. I believe that he could get over, but I don't believe the WWE is going to book him properly and see that he could be another Kurt Angle. That people will love him to hate him because he's that good. That is what I'm worried about. Excuse me. The segment I love the most for the entire show. The Miz segment with Marie and the Cesaro coming out dressed all swagged. I'm actually enjoying his new character change. It's not a big change. Just putting on a suit that he tears off kind of reminds me of Hulk Hogan. But doing it in a classy way. And I think it really works for him. I'm actually very happy they've done this for him. I don't know if it was him that came up with the idea or if the brass or even the writing team actually did it. I believe they've done it right. This feud with The Miz is actually going to help him. Because The Miz is, by my perception, the best and most capable heel they've ever had in the last 7 years. I'm being truthful here. I know a lot of people still love Chris Jericho. And he's a wonderful heel. And I know they love the Triple H, the King of Kings himself. But the most consistent and most seen heel has been The Miz. And for the last 3 years, they dropped him badly. And he tried so hard to sell his stuff. But now that he's working with Marie, it actually works even better. The kissing segment reminded me of what happened with The Edge and the Lita. I actually enjoyed it. They could actually steal a little bit from Edge and Lita and actually throw it on Miz and Marie. And I actually believe it would work. I would actually love to see that. Seeing this feud actually is enjoyable. Now the match after that with New Day and the League of Nations. Lads. It's hard to say if it really did anything to be helpful. Even though it was Cesaro who got the win over Sheamus. But you really didn't spotlight Cesaro that much. And I'm not sure if it really helped him. Honestly, I don't know if it did. It was a nice segment. Seeing New Day so over is amazing. I love it. Oh, England! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your world famous 2-time world champ and feel the power. I gotta do it. You gotta do it. It's a new day coming in. I know it's not exactly. I'm kind of ad-libbing a little bit. One, because I always forget the lines. And two, I just love New Day. They do a great job. They're one of the most entertaining factions I've seen in 7 or 8 years. I'm being honest here, ladies and gentlemen. When was the last time you saw a faction this over in any promotion? Any. I'm talking about TNA, ROH. And I think to a certain extent, because it is a different culture and it's different in perception. New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would say Lucha Underground, but that's still only about 2.5 to near 3 years old. And I'm talking about over 7 years. So I'm going from there. Here's something I don't understand. Charlotte and Natalya. It kind of has a little bit more to that, but Charlotte and Natalya, why did you do this, WWE? I don't understand. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Charlotte and Natalya could have been a WrestleMania match. They could have had, and I'm sure it's because that Brent wasn't well enough because he was going through chemotherapy at the time, and he probably still is going through chemo. But essentially, it could be possible that Brent just was not physically capable of actually doing WrestleMania. And that's sad. But it would have worked. But when you look at this situation with Natalya and... Why did you have Charlotte tap in that 8-women tag? Why? Why did you have her tap out? That really makes no sense. It doesn't really put over Charlotte enough. It doesn't really help Natalya because now you've actually seen her tap her out. Again, I can understand them the week before and Natalya got the win but didn't win. But then you did it again, WWE. Which I felt was dumb. You should have kept the controversy separate. They shouldn't have even had that moment. In fact, you know who should have had their moment? Becky and Paige. As much as I want to see Naomi get some time, as much as I want to see Tamina get time, you're in the UK. Why couldn't you give Becky and the Paige a match? You could have done a tag match with Becky and Paige together against Summer Rae and what? Anybody, I don't care. Let's be honest here. You could have done Summer Rae and Lana versus a Becky Lynch and a Paige. Come on. You guys tell me if that makes sense. More than an 8-diva tag and then Natalya taps out Charlotte. It kind of makes no sense. Why are we going to watch the Payback the Payback pay-per-view? I've seen it already. The only thing is that Natalya doesn't have the title. It's dumb. Now, the 2 matches that were good but sad. Vaudevillains versus Usos. I know the Vaudevillains. They're young, they're fresh, we needed a change. I got no problem, but what about the Usos? The Usos have been shitted on for months now. The Usos should have had a WrestleMania moment with the Dudleys. Whether you believe they deserve it or not, they do. I do believe they deserve that moment. They worked very hard last year and the year before to really become popular. They are very popular still. And instead of giving them a special moment with the Dudleys in a tables match, that should have been, or a TLC match for that matter, on the pay-per-view, on WrestleMania 32. They had to go to the pre-show. And then they had to do a repeat of the match the next night. And they lost. It's sad to see the Vaudevillains win, but not feel sad at the same time because I want to see new teams. So it hurts. But I'm kind of happy. It's the best way to say it. When it came to Enzo Amore and Big Kaz versus the Dudleys, I felt that was not the right thing to do. I know there's a good chance that they'll interfere in the match next week. It's obvious. They're going to interfere in the match next week. So I do believe the Vaudevillains will be the ones that's going up against New Day. Unless I'm wrong. But honestly, I felt that they could have saved this as a WrestleMania match. No, not WrestleMania match. A Payback match. You see, I'm thinking about WrestleMania with the Usos and the Dudleys because I feel sorry for the Dudleys. They deserve freaking better. What, 12, 13 years ago, they had the spotlight and then they didn't get it? Now you got a new tag team that kind of gives you a thought of the Dudleys that have a certain attitude. Look, the Dudleys are from my stomping ground. They're from New York, baby. And Enzo and Big Kaz, in the basic sense, they're kind of representing New Jersey. New York and New Jersey have always had that kind of rivalry. And I wanted to see that, a payback. And of course, we'll probably get it. But couldn't you have left it alone for a little while longer? WWE, you couldn't wait 2 weeks to actually build with two guys, well, two groups of guys that can talk pretty well. Well, let's say Big Cass really can't talk that well. Devon can talk well. Enzo can talk well. And Bubba can talk well. So you can always leave Big Cass separate from it. But we could have had that. And I just feel like this match wasn't necessary. It's finally time to get it over with. AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. I know they didn't have a match, but they did have a little promo segment. You got to see a little bit of AJ's promo skills versus a Roman Reigns promo skills. And it is obvious. Roman Reigns promo skills are nothing compared to AJ. Nothing. AJ blew him out of the water. But here's the thing that upsets me and worries me. The WWE, in their great logical mind, like a Spock, live long and prosper. Of course it's like this, but live long and prosper, decides they're going to throw out a little bit of a question mark. Is AJ heel? Are you seriously going to WWE? You were stupid enough to let AJ be the one to go up against a Roman Reigns instead of a Chris Jericho. Chris would have been better choice for Roman Reigns because it would have been defined as, well, a badass somewhat face compared to a heel that you could say is not well built, but at least would have been better. In this case, you got a face in an AJ Styles that people really want to cheer for so badly. They love him. Versus a somewhat badass face that people boo their asses off because they just don't like him because you booked him bad. You're now going to turn that face that is really beginning to grow you some merchant, I'm talking about AJ, into a heel, bringing in Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson as the catalyst for that. It would be better months from now. 3, 4, 5 months from now. Do that then. But questioning it here, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is a mistake. I believe the WWE was afraid that people really would not change their mind about Roman Reigns. And it's obvious they're still not changing their mind. The crowd does not want to cheer him. And I'm not saying he's a bad talent. I've said this before and I say it again. There's no point in booing him. It's not his fault. The WWE has booked him badly. Roman Reigns is not that bad, actually. He's better than most that's in the WWE. But he's been so badly booked, you want to boo him. And here's the thing that even makes it worse, ladies and gentlemen. AJ Styles is a more seasoned... I can't believe I'm saying this, but it has to be said. He's a more seasoned Daniel Bryan. AJ Styles is way more seasoned, way more over, and to be honest, he has even a better moveset than a Daniel Bryan. Let's be honest here. Daniel Bryan compared to AJ Styles, there's no comparisons. AJ would kick Daniel Bryan's ass. This is the truth. AJ Styles is a much better talent than a Daniel Bryan. He's got more charisma. He's got more skills on the mic. He has more physical looks than Daniel Bryan. He is a way better ring general. That is the truth. So right now, the WWE, in their greatest wisdom, might turn him heel. Where the people don't want him to be heel. They want another Daniel Bryan. So if they actually pull the trigger on this, they're making the worst mistake in history. They got something hot that in 6 months down the line, they actually do something to pull the trigger on. But here, no. But this is just my point of view. How about you? And I hope you enjoyed the Zane view. Please give me a comment below. I will get my next TNA review done. I'm leaving Booking the Wrestler away for a little while because I kind of burnt myself out on it. Hopefully I'll come back to it soon. If you really believe I should try and bring it back, give me another person to work with. Work with. And Give me a little incentive to try again. Because I do believe it's a great concept. It's just I burnt myself out. Have a good day and have a good night. Peace out!